Hello everyone. It's me, Jessica. As you can see, we are doing a build, and this is actually Simsie's shell that she did for her St. Jude challenge. But I was not on the ball with like my time frame. I started it really late, and I'm just sharing it to you guys here at this point. So I had a lot of fun with it, though. I think that the layout I came up with is arguably a little bit strange. But I did manage to squeeze in quite a bit of activities and stuff. I always, of course, think of Step Brothers when I talk about activities. There's plenty of room for activities, though. But yeah, so we have the upstairs, of course. I didn't change anything about her shell. I did just struggle with the floor plan, and I did also leave that in for you guys to kind of see. Currently, IRL, my daughter is awake. So we will see how recording goes with that, because she might walk up while I have it going. But currently, I started because she had actually separated herself from me, and she's off doing something in her room. So it felt like a safe time to kind of get sat down and get going. So this is kind of the actual floor plan for the bottom coming together. So at this point, we're just going to kind of start bringing it together. But, how are you guys doing out there? IRL, because I've been busy as hell. I have started my new job recently, and I guess I'm starting my 4th week next week, so just about a month in, fully and completely. It's been a really nice time, a really refreshing reset as far as my daily 9 to 5 goes, and that's what I really was kind of hoping for. It's kind of pushing me outside of things that I've done in the past. So it's definitely going to be interesting. I've joined a sales team for a farm in Oklahoma, still in the industry. So I'm still working with plant medicine, and I for now I think that is definitely a good transition for me. My dad is one of those. He'll harp on me a little bit about my 5-year plan, but I think that I have a 5-year plan. I think that you just got to give people time and have faith in me, But here is where I decided to change the back door, and honestly, I'm going to tell you right now, that back door gave me so much freaking flack. While I was trying to record. I was building this for a week on and off, because honestly, I cannot sit down and build as long as I want to. I say that, and then I sat down and I built for 3 hours on stream the other night. But I would say that most nights I do sit down and I'll record for about an hour, maybe get up, stretch my legs, do some stuff, sit back down, get to recording again, and that's kind of the routine that I do for myself typically. But at this point, we're going to start picking some windows and kind of working on that, getting it put together. Because we're building in Windenburg, let me say that, there we go. I think that I was trying to almost incorporate some weird traditional bits in the beginning, and then I realized that I was doing my classic mid-century style, and I swear I cannot stop with that. It's my favorite style to build in. I think that I find the roofing to just be really easy, and I think that there are opportunities to do fun things with the roof, which is kind of what I did here. I made it to where there's windows at the top of this. They're really not actually functional as far as the inside of the house goes, but I thought that it was a cool feature on how the house looked in the end. But yeah, I love a mid-century, and so I think that I struggle with the window choice in the front there quite a bit. But yeah, what I was saying about the back door is that back door just kept deleting itself on and off. It deleted itself probably 3 different times, and so I just kept having to put it back in, and I don't really it was after the update, and it would say that I didn't own an object, and so it was deleted, and it's a base game door. So I'm a little confused why you don't think that I own a base game door. It's a base game door. I don't know. It was being weird, to say the least, but at this point, I've kind of got it sectioned off to where we're going to have all the bedrooms upstairs. This is going to turn into an activity space, specifically a gym is what I turn it into. But it's definitely something that, like, if you downloaded this house, you could change that, because the patio being like right there, I made the patio space for yoga, because that's something that I like to make my Sims do sometimes, but also like painting or crafting out on that patio would definitely be a vibe. So you could definitely change it to whatever you wanted it to be. Or, I mean, honestly, the bedroom that it's attached to is not very big, so that's kind of why I thought it was best as like an activity wing in a sense. But there are 3 bedrooms upstairs. There is a cat room, a bathroom, and oh my god, like a nursery on the main floor. I don't know why I could not think of that. There's also the greenery, the green room, greenhouse room. There we go. I don't, words. But the greenhouse space, I felt like that kind of came together in a way it looked intentional, even though it's really connected to the bit in the front. Sometimes you can like trick the eye, but I was kind of struggling with the platforms there. I don't really know why it wouldn't let me layer my platforms properly, but that was disappointing because I wanted to do some platform stairs. So sorry, I'm laughing at myself because I haven't used words really at all this morning. I've just been like honestly editing this quite a bit. I got all the footage trimmed down to where I think it is like functional footage. But otherwise, like, I haven't spoke to anyone this morning, so I just finally like decided, because my daughter is off, hopefully being a good child, I should probably get up and check on her in just a minute. But I decided I was gonna sit down and record. So again, with words, I just hadn't used a lot of words this morning. But yeah, we don't use any of the beds that I actually just laid out. I was kind of just trying to make sure that I was deciding properly in my own head about like how I liked the layout of the house, like which bedroom was going to be which bedroom. Filler furniture is, I believe, what the Simmers call it. So filler furniture, that's what that is. I guess the heart bed is definitely a vibe for like the right house, but I made this house almost like modern chic is what I keep thinking whenever I try and think of like a style for it, because it's definitely very much like, it's got a modern touch to it, maybe. I don't know. I'm not sure if you see it, but like, it's also got like some other touches as far as like the textures and colors, and I cannot really help, like, the living room is where that comes in, because I added kind of like the mid-century couches with patterns, and I find that it's fun to be eclectic whenever I'm building, and so I might pick like an overall vibe where like the house is very black and white on the outside. It has a bit of a modern feel to it, a bit of a modern touch to it. But at the end of the day, it's not modern, You know what I mean? I am going to go check on my daughter real quick, so IRL BRB. Alright, sorry, IRL, I'm back, and back to the build. We are getting the front of the house together. I think that I actually spend a little bit of time doing the landscaping right now. To be honest, I've been so back and forth with this house. It's definitely like, as we progress into how the house comes together, we really bounce all over the place. It's like here, it's there. That was a good example. So, you know how it is. Sometimes when you have ADHD and you're trying to build and you're like, oh yeah, no, I was thinking about this. So you go and you do that, and then like you're doing that for a minute, and then that's just the name of the game, baby. But I am really happy that I feel like I like how the floor plan came together. Basically, having like the indoor greenhouse is always something that I think is really functional for most sim players. Most of us, like, even if you don't want to have all your crops inside, right? This is like at least the important ones that maybe are making you the most money. You can bring them inside and have them like close to you. Or you just have a smaller garden and you don't have like an entire farm. So that's kind of like in my head. This is not, I don't have chickens on this lot. There are some grubs in the greenhouse room here. Or like worms or whatever you want to put in there. I think you can put beetles in there as well. But yeah, I essentially, I didn't really make it like a farm. Like there's a bonhouse. Oh my goodness, that's a new one. There is a bonfire in the backyard in the end. There's a like telescope. I put a little sand pit in for the kids. There's, of course, the pool and the cooking area, which I think you guys have already seen some of that coming together. But yeah, I really made it more of a family entertaining space. And honestly, this corner right here, we come back to this corner, I kid you not, like 3 times. So please forgive me. But that was, we just put a chair in that corner. But then, yeah, we go back to the book corner quite a few times. I really just could not do it all at once, apparently. I was all over. Truly all over. But yeah, so it's just not a whole farm. You could probably add a chicken coop somewhere if you'd like to. But on the lot that I have personally put it on, I feel as though like if you had a horse, they would be kind of crowded. Because I've put a huge tree house in the front yard. And with that decision, it kind of took away space. So overall, I ended up not putting animals on the lot, and I kind of just left it to where there's legit just stuff all over the place for a family dynamic to kind of just like live their life here. Which is kind of fun. I'm kind of like almost taking some inspiration from how I did this house for our next legacy. I don't think I'm gonna decorate it quite the same, but in a lot of ways, like the backyard is almost what I aspire to renovate our backyard into eventually on my legacy series. But we don't have much of a backyard right now on that. It's still a work in progress for sure, but I really enjoyed getting to decorate all the little nooks and crannies of this house. I incorporated this nice natural wooden bench on the front here, and I honestly ended up like loving that so much. The more I looked at it, I just thought it was like the perfect bench for that spot. But I'm trying to think if I have any other like actual life updates, but really it's summertime now and the kids are all out of school, including my own. She is about to turn 6 years old. Sometime like later this month on the 20th. So we're not quite to her birthday yet. But I'm like kind of to the grindstone of trying to get all the planning together and any of the last minute things together. I've been buying presents for her for months, honestly, and just hiding them in the top of my closet. But she is in the dryer again. That's like, I had to take a break to go get her out of the dryer because she gets in there and then she realizes that she's getting too big to do that. And she actually, like, she can't really get out very easily. So she needs help getting out. And I'm kind of just waiting until I feel like I need to go help her again. And that it's probably coming soon, to be honest. And this is the story of my life right now. Having a 6-year-old is crazy because I thought that having like a 3-year-old or a 4-year-old was wild. I thought that 4 was wild. I thought that 5 was hard. But she's not changing her game. She absolutely never ceases to surprise me with the shenanigans that she be getting herself into. But, you know, maybe the Lord or the universe knew that I absolutely did not need more than one kid. So they jam-packed all the personalities into one. And so at this point, if I have another one, it's not going to be for quite a while because she's keeping me busy. You know, it's just like, damn, girl. It's ruthless. But anyways, so this little space out here ends up being like a workshop. But to be honest, I did not put a specific like workbench in here. Everything that I put in here is decorative. So in my head, I'm kind of leaving it open to whoever moves into this house to bring their hobbies in, and like maybe you put it kind of in the middle. Like I would honestly put like a workbench like kind of diagonal, with like placing it diagonally in the middle of the floor plan, because then you have all that decorative stuff and it feels really lived in when you have like extra stuff like that. I don't know. But yeah, whether it's like a crafting table for woodworking or like a crystals creation, or you just want to do some painting out there, I figured that it's almost like a garage that has been converted into a workspace. So the double doors are nice and open and you got the fresh air. Hopefully it's a nice day. It could be snowy, could be thunderstorming or like a heat wave, but that's just the name of the game, right? Because that's real life. But I honestly didn't put much over there with the solar panels either. I left it very much like there were a few empty spaces, and it was just like easier to change if you move into it that way. And I find that if I'm gonna like build a house for the gallery, sometimes I want to leave it a little open to interpretation, because otherwise I'm gonna like make it completely customized to that situation. And I think in this case, I wasn't building for specific Sims. I was really just building for legacy style players. So I think that's why I left it a little open. But I don't know. In my legacy style saves, I always have animals. So your dog could lay on that bed there. And then you have a great little setup for the cats. I know that the cat bed is not specifically right next to the tree, or I'm sorry, the cat tree is not right next to the window. There we go. But I figured it was still like a nice little setup for them. And this little front room ends up being the nursery that I was kind of talking about. So there's the nursery on the first floor and all the other bedrooms are upstairs. So I end up making like a toddler/child room upstairs, and I include both a toddler bed and a child's like single bed. So you're able to effectively manage all of your life stages in this house. And I think that that is very important sometimes whenever you're trying to like have your legacy family live comfortably. So you might need money cheats for this house, obviously. I don't actually know the budget that it is by the end of it. But it probably is well over 100. I think it's like 120 or 130,000. We'll have to check. You just get your Sims on painting and gardening, though, and you'll be able to afford this in no time, because it's really not that expensive in the grand scheme of houses. I didn't put too much clutter in it overall. I did definitely put like some details to make it feel lived in. My daughter is walking over here, so you know, the struggles and woes of if you hear her in the background, then you already know. But anyways, so as we have the house coming together, there's definitely like some little touches here and there to make it feel lived in. But overall, like I tried to keep it to where it had like an okay flow of like walking through the space. So the coffee table that I chose is a nice small one. I really struggled with putting the clutter in this like cubby space. I don't really know why. I was just, in the end, I like started placing some stuff on the bottom shelf. But it all came together pretty nicely, and I am definitely happy with how it came together. I've actually been like watching Simsie's shell tour video that she re-uploaded on YouTube, kind of intermittently throughout today. In real life. I've just had it like kind of playing in the background. I'm almost halfway through that video. I think it is so fun watching those videos, and I would love to like do more shell challenges myself and participate in them as well, and all the things. I think that they are so fun. But I think next for my channel, we're about to give our vet clinic a renovation, in our legacy challenge. I think that it is time, because with the news coming around, a supposed like outdoor, off the grid, enchanted by nature, possibly fairies. I think that pack sounds like it is very Mantis core, which Mantis is my heir for my legacy challenge. So I think that he is like a life and death and enchanted by nature, cottage living. That's probably a lot of like the vibe that I'm going to use whenever we finally renovate the legacy lot. I am right now renovating, I guess not renovating. I moved my Not So Berry family to a whole new lot, on stream. So I've been working on that. I'm going to be live tonight actually working on that as well. Starting about 8:30 Central Time. I need to sit down, and hopefully I can just sit down and play and finish building and everything in the like 3-hour time span. Normally I stream for closer to 2 hours, but I've been trying to lengthen it because of the build. It's definitely beneficial. I am not like the fastest builder, so I don't want to be doing it forever. You know what I mean? And you're like, I need to focus. I gotta lock in. But I've been basically trying to space out all of my builds because I was working on this. I had actually started my own build right before I found out about Simsie's shell, that I like stopped the build that I had started and I started on this instead. So I might come back to that eventually, but I don't really know, like when after we're done with Mantis's house, because I feel like we're going to be starting on that in the next couple weeks. But yeah, just lots of building for sure. I'm probably going to sit down in the next couple nights and start recording some YouTube content as far as just like legacy gameplay and stuff like that goes. But I need to like do some like cast makeovers. There's a lot of moving parts right now that I've been trying to kind of mix in, and I think it's fun. I like the diversity in what I'm doing, but it's all for the plot, right? It's all for the whole plot of it. But we have everything coming together. I normally will like pick a style for the tile, and I'll use the tile in like all the places, but I actually use different tile all over the place. We have tile in the kitchen that is a little darker because I wanted like a dark aesthetic kitchen. And then we have the green bathroom downstairs, and then the bathroom upstairs is like a teal blue color, which the teal blue is also down here. There's really like random colors all over the place that it like almost doesn't make sense. But if you're new to my channel, I guess welcome. But if you're not new, then you already know my build style it's just like this. I cannot pick a style and stick with it. I'm like, ooh, some blue shit in the corner. But so the master bedroom here is actually, I love it so much. I think we've been like slowly getting parts of it together, but I really enjoy the way the colors work together and just all the things. And I found that I really enjoy like the dark aesthetic. So I think that I'm going to have a lot of fun when it comes to building Mantis's house. On that note, I enjoy like a dark aesthetic house. I used to have a legacy house that I played in on my personal, just in my, my own personal time. And it was like all black. It was like a penthouse downtown. It was very industrial. And that was definitely just the vibe. I enjoyed that so much. Like, I don't know why, but like the all black on black with some rich browns in there. Like, I find that to be so enjoyable. But okay, we're moving the camera again. I almost was like, I'm gonna have to fix that, but just a little hiccup there. I really thought I got all that cut out, but I guess I missed a little part there. But so that's most of the fitness space coming together. I do move that yoga mat outside as well, and I keep it kind of open as far as like the actual fitness room itself. But slowly but surely, like the vibe in each room starts to come together, so you can kind of see like everything that I start actually deciding on here. It's like a very purple schemed child/toddler room. I really enjoyed like putting this together. Purple is one of my favorite colors, and I was definitely just vibing out a little bit. I thought it doesn't really matter what gender kid is in here. This is it's beautiful to me. I guess the beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and I sure hope that any child that lives in this space enjoys it, because I love it. I love it for them. But I tried to put little touches around here and there, and I just trying to bring the space to life. But in the end, it was just such a hodgepodge of styles that I think it kind of brought stories to life, that because I didn't build it with specific Sims in mind, like I was saying, but just bringing parts of it together here and there. But yeah, I'm trying to think if I have any other little tidbits. I've just been looking at bounce houses and working. It's, getting old, man. I just feel like all I do is work and go to the grocery store and go home and work on more work and try and like do my dishes. And then I wrestle with my daughter, and she likes to like jump on me, like on the bed, you know what I mean? She just jumps on me, and it's sometimes you're like, dang, what did I do to deserve this? Damn, did I leave the camera moving like that again? You know what? I thought I was paying such good attention whenever I was editing. Here she is. And that right there, folks, is why we do not stream until later in the evening. It's just all around. Like, I'm just a mom in the daytime and a gamer at nighttime. Still a mom at nighttime though, because still just be doing the laundry and the things. Gotta do the things, all the things. There's too many things. I think we all know that as we get older. You're like, well, they're just... And then they add like more hoops. They be adding more hoops. Like the plate pay if you live in Oklahoma. That's another hoop. Baby, that's all that is. So it's just, you gotta love it out here. But no, life is pretty good overall. I don't have a lot to complain about. I actually have a lot to be grateful for. Everything has been moving in the right direction. I love my new job. Just doing the thing. Oh, here's our little blue bathroom that I was talking about, which I really like those two tiles together, but I tried not to overcomplicate the bathroom, so I think I just added a few decorations, and I can't actually remember. Did I put a mirror in here? I may not have. For some reason, I have been not putting as many mirrors in the bathroom, and I might add some mirrors in the bedroom instead, because I feel like when you're working on charisma, maybe you don't want to be taking up the bathroom, and mirrors are hard on consoles and like PCs that just cannot handle so much. Repeating wallpapers also helps. So like just not having so many mirrors. And I did put the big standing mirror in the master bedroom. I know that for sure. I don't think there's mirrors all over the place in this house, but there is at least one mirror. There are some dressers as far as like being able to access a change outfit or anything like that. But yeah, I don't know. That's just my personal preference on like how I've been kind of like building my houses recently. My daughter is next to me again. I am just a couple minutes out on this voiceover, and I'm desperately trying to finish it. Oh my goodness. But yeah, here's where I move a bunch of stuff out for like kind of a like you could have a friend over and do yoga, or you and your partner do yoga. There's a meditation stool. So this becomes kind of like the Zen garden, if you will. I put some plants in the corner. Basically what I want IRL or something of the sort. But yeah, no, I can't do that so much. I mean, I do a little bit of yoga stretches on my patio right now, but my patio is not this big. It is more like a third of the size, to be honest. But I was kind of trying to cover up the roofing bit that was showing through, and I thought that those planters honestly looked kind of cool, the repurposed like drawers or whatever. I put a fake lavender plant there, but you can remove that and like put actual planters there if you want real planters there. And this is where I just kept trying to make sure that the detail that I was adding in, like, see, it took the freaking door away again. It's very frustrating, but I was just trying to make sure that all the detail I wanted to have in here was in here. So I was kind of making my last rounds of final details, adding in some stuff here and there that, I don't know, just felt like it suited the place. So here we just add a bunch of books to fill up the space because honestly, ice cream truck outside. I could not be bothered though. I was really over it when it came to trying to clutter this house. I kind of just got to this point where there's still so many slotting issues with what can and cannot fit on shelves, and I find it to be very frustrating sometimes. So a lot of times my alternative is just to slot in some books, because call them bookshelves, call them bookshelves. Oh my god, well, I guess bookshelves is not wrong, but that was my brain farting actually. This is another time we're in this corner right now too. Like I said, we're in this corner like 2 or 3 times. But that is the last time we're in it. But no, the books in the kitchen are probably like cookbooks or dinner date ideas, or maybe like specific Christmas recipes, things like that. I always just like in my head, I call them cookbooks, but it's also just like a really easy filler because they take up a decent amount of space, and they typically, if they clip into the shelf a little bit, they're really, realistically, they're not like the worst thing to have clipping. But here I went ahead and I was like trying to finalize how I wanted the patio to look. And this is where I think these are honestly this like dark aesthetic, but they're a little like boho chic at the same time. I like that. I think they're from the Riviera pack, and I just liked the whole set together out here. I did kind of struggle with the rug. I think I'd like sort through the swatches for a fat minute. And then I eventually do just leave it on the green. But extra greenery everywhere, all the things. But I will have this house on the gallery. I am about to pass you guys off to the screenshots. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day out there, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye!